Hello everyone, this is Kevin the Switch Hippie here with another exciting episode of Rescued from the Bargain Bin here at Groovy Old Records. So, first of all, 300 subscribers. Thank you. I'm grateful for one. Like I said before, I'm grateful for one, and I got 300. My cup overfloweth with gratitude and generosity. And I love the comments you put on there. It makes me feel good that you guys are involved and you're kind of digging what I'm doing here, right? Saving these old records. And you know, I say they're not all great records, right? But we try our best to do what we can with what we have. So, anyways, let's get started with today's lecture on groovy records. The pickings have been pretty slim, first of all, and I think that's because it's been the holidays and the thrift stores, they tend to load up on Christmas records. So I haven't been finding a lot of great things, but some of it's pretty interesting. Some of it not so interesting. So you tell me what you think, right? Okay, let's start with the first one. Now, I remember these records. There's Persuasive Percussion, and this is Terry Snyder and the All-Stars. And there's a second one. There's two volumes of these. Are from 1959. And basically what these records were done when stereo first came out. You would go to the store, and the salesman would put these records on to show you how good stereo can sound. Maybe it's like early Pink Floyd, I don't know, but they sound really good. The record, I mean, the covers are kind of tore up, but the records themselves sound good, and you can hear the stereo quality. It's pretty awesome. So you can imagine 1959, you go down to Sears Roebuck and, hey, I want to buy that stereo system. They're like, well, here, let's listen to it. And you put this record on and both of these records, and they're 1959, Terry Snyder and the All-Stars. They're actually quite good. They're actually quite good records. I enjoy listening to those. Here's a different one. This is from a different company. I don't know what this is called, Process 35 Percussion. And it's the same principle, right? You put it on your turntable and you chill out. You can hear what the speakers sound like. This one doesn't sound good though. It's kind of like big band music almost. It's just kind of like, yeah, nothing interesting on this one. But I'll see if it's on Spinorama Records, so you know it's good. I'll put some of that below though. I'll see if I can find a decent cutoff here. It's just not interesting. So, oh, here's a good one. Jonathan Winters. You know, he's a comedian. Jonathan Winters. He's a big influence on Robin Williams. He had a TV show. I think he's a very interesting guy. He used to do all sorts of crazy voices. So I have to clean this one up though. There's a couple scratches in it. They were a little bit nasty. So I'll see if I can clean up Jonathan Winters and get that on there for you. He's a hysterical guy. So once we get that working, this next. I saw this one, and I Paul Williams, right? Paul Williams. You guys remember Paul Williams from the 70s? He wrote every Carpenter song. He did that Muppet thing with the Rainbow Connection. On here, this is Rainy Days and Mondays. That's the one I put in the Carpenter song, Rainy Days and Mondays. I don't like him. I think his music boring. I think his voice is horrible. It sounds like he's got something in his mouth when he's singing. He's a very famous guy. You've seen him on TV a million times. If you're my age, from back in the 70s, right? He was a short little guy, and he actually was. Once he appeared on Dexter's Laboratory, and my kids were watching that, and there's Paul Williams shows up. I'm like, oh my God, isn't that random? Paul Williams. Jessie Coulter, she's a country singer. She's famous, right? She was married to Dwayne Eddy, and then she was married to Waylon Jennings. So this is produced by Waylon Jennings. So this is a good country record. I'll put some cuts down there. Next one is Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell for the Roses. I mean, she's got several really good albums. The last stuff is, you know, my opinion's a little dull, but this one's okay. I like this record. I listen to it. And of course, it's famous because, you know, she's naked in it. Can you see that? Can you see that's her butt there? Joni Mitchell's butt. Never thought she would do that, right? And the other thing, of course, is the beautiful. She was an artist. So there's a picture of her. She did the artwork for. She also did it for the Crosby, Stills and Nash So Far Greatest Hits album cover. Joni Mitchell. I put a cut below. She's got a singing, wonderful guitar player, wonderful voice. She's doing her music a little bit slow, right? A little bit boring sometimes. This is funny. This is Bob Wills. You know, he was the country swing guy, right? Western swing back in the 30s and all that. Bob Wills and the Playboys. I found it. Well, I put a cut down there, but it's just a country record, right? But it's 1969. Was $1.59 in 1969, and this chap bought it for $5, whatever year he bought it, and then I got it for it was $1. But anyway, it sounds pretty good, and it is the Harmony record label was a special product label from Columbia, so it sounds pretty good. It's not cheesy. This next one is, I've never heard of these guys. Never heard of them. Pinkard and Bowden. And they were kind of a comedy duo, right? Comedy country guys like Homer and Jethro, except they were kind of big in the 80s. I'm not familiar with whatever happened to them. But the reason I bought it, of course, was the people on this record are crazy. Ann Murray, the Osmond brothers, Michael Martin Murphy, who just played here in Greeley a while ago, Don Henley, Glenn Frey, Jackson Brown, Dan Fogelberg, David Carradine from Kung Fu is on here, and Jennifer Warnes. I mean, it's just packed full of stars. So, and I think I put I lobster but never flounder, right? See, instead of saying I lost her, never found her, I lobster and never flounder. It's a fish song, funny fish song. So, anyways, check it out. That's Pinkard and Bowden. This next one, this was actually, when you see something like this, right? It's like I've said to you before. It's just they're not selling you a band, right? They're selling you. You're going to listen to this record and pretend you're in Hawaii, but this one actually isn't too bad. Linai Akihu and his Surfboarders. And I put one track below. It's actually got a pretty nice little surf guitar on it too. So it's an interesting record. Love the cover. So anyway, that's put that one below too, and you can listen to that. We'll listen to some good Hawaiian music. It's a kind of mixture of Hawaiian, again, the Hawaiian wedding mixed with some kind of fun stuff, electric guitar and all that. This one is, I don't even know why I picked this up. I don't know at the time. This is the Flying W country. So Flying W is it's a dude ranch down in Colorado Springs, and they have a band there, right? That plays there. You can go get your chuckwagon dinner or whatever at the dude ranch, and they have a band that plays there. And the band is called what's the band called? The Flying W, right? Yeah, this is Flying. Anyways, they've been making records since 1956, right? And this one came out in 84, I think. So this is volume 13 of these country records. And it's just generic country record. But anyways, here in Colorado, I'm in Colorado. It's in Colorado Springs in the South. But anyways, it's a cool record. It's fun to listen to, so. This next guy, I looked at a little bit of research on him, and this is Texas Jim Robertson. Apparently, he had some issues. He committed suicide or something like that. The record is okay for a country record. It's not the greatest country record in the world, but I do like the cover though. It's a pretty nice cover, isn't it? It's kind of in your face, design compatible fidelity, and that's Texas Jim Robertson. He's great. This one, I'm not sure what this one is. It was $1, but this is kind of just a bluegrass sampler of different bands. I've never heard of any of these people except the Stanley Brothers. And I've never heard of, this is a Palace record, so obviously it's one of these reissues, cheap reissues. You probably bought this at a truck stop somewhere in West Virginia, But anyways, it doesn't sound too bad. I put a couple cuts below. Oh my gosh. I saw this, and it's one of those things like, should I or shouldn't I? And I did. C.W. McCall, greatest hits. And of course, Convoy I had Convoy in 45 when I first, it's terrible. It's a terrible song, it's a terrible record. I don't think I can't, I'm gonna maybe listen to it again. Let's see if I take out Convoy, is this worthwhile? And so far, my answer is no. But again, I'm open-minded. I will try it. I gather this guy's from Colorado because he has a Wolverton or Silverton. Wolf Creek Pass, of course, is in Colorado as well. So C.W. McCall. I put Convoy below, which is just a terrible song, absolutely terrible song. Love and Spoonful. This is a kind of a repackaged greatest hits. It's 2 LPs and they're stuffed into one sleeve, right? So, they didn't spend a lot of money on this. I think it's just a cheap GRT records. I think they use just, cheap reissues or low budget reissues of famous albums. So, Love and Spoonful with John Sebastian. Of course, John Sebastian was famous for 10 million things. He was at Woodstock. He did the song for Welcome Back, Kotter. I've seen him play over here in Loveland. He opened for a friend of mine, or my friend of mine opened for him. I think his son or something like that used to go to UC Boulder, so he was always dropping in. It was either him or Roger McGuinn. I can't remember now, but they're not great. I don't like the love. I don't think they're not really great. I mean, they're not. I mean, John Sebastian, he's a great musician, but just his music is not. I think I put Nashville Cats, which even has kind of a country rock song, isn't really great, right? Not compared to other things that were going on at the time. But anyways, Love and Spoonful on GRT Records, the two albums stuffed into one sleeve, right? Yeah. That just screams high quality. Here's a great one, I think. I've been listening to this one quite a bit. The Earl Scruggs review, right? You know, Earl Scruggs, the famous bluegrass player, right? And this has got all his kids on it. And they're all just jamming here. There's, I put some of Shelley Blues, the Mike Nesmith song, right? And he also does It Takes a Lot to Laugh, Takes a Train to Cry, the Dylan song. He does a good version of that. Down in the Flood, again, another great Dylan song. And they do a really good version of that. I was pretty happy with this. So anyways, I'll put a couple cuts below. Earl Scruggs, and Randy's on there too, right? Randy's famous too, so check it out. Joan Baez, you know, she's really good. I like her voice and I like her guitar, but I don't like her music. Does that make sense? I mean, it's just boring, right? I put a couple cuts. Some of her stuff's boring, some of it's good, right? It's mixed for me, but I know she has a lot of fun. This is the original on Vanguard record, right? Vanguard was the old folky record label, right? Back in the 50s and 60s, Village Vanguard. This is Joe South. This is actually a good one. Joe South was famous. He wrote, I Beg Your Pardon, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden. And he was kind of, I don't know, this is kind of I would say maybe cutting edge kind of country record for the 70s, I think, 75, yeah. Yeah, it was up there with Jerry Jeff Walker and you know, Townes Van Zandt, that kind of a country singer-songwriter kind of stuff. But it's really good. I enjoyed this. I'm going to put it on again here in a little bit, see what I can do. So, finally, hey, no bum ones in this one, huh? There were no bad albums. Finally, this is an interesting one. This is Bud and Travis. I never heard of them before, and these are kind of it's 60s, early 60s folk music. They sound like the Kingston Trio and the Chad Mitchell Trio and every other group. But I'm just surprised I had never heard of them. Usually, I'm pretty savvy to this kind of music. But this was recorded live on March 24th, 1960, at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, and it's you know. They're folk music, and they tell anti-government jokes and anti, you know, liberal kind of stuff, and that liberal 60s early liberal banter like you get with the Kingston Trio and Chad Mitchell. It's the same kind of thing. But anyways, they're actually quite good. I like this album. This is Bud and Travis in concert. So anyways, those are the latest finds. I'm done for you guys. I'm done with you guys for today. Tune in again. Hopefully we'll get some better quality picking, I guess, on my next show. So anyways, again, thanks for 300 subscribers, and we'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.